Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Latoria Butler and Jerome Harris. The two of you have been together for a year and a half, engaged for the last 4 months, but you're not quite sure if this thing is headed towards marriage, so you came to me to find out. You gave me your marriage license with permission to tear it up, should I think the union is ill-advised, and you filled out my compatibility test. You both wrote a book. And Ms. Butler, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me a little bit about this relationship and how we got here today?
Well, Judge Lynn, we are here today because I've run out of ways to communicate with Jerome.
Okay.
I started by just telling him, expressing my feelings, just speaking to him naturally as situations arose, and it wasn't getting through to him. So then I began to search online to look for supporting, documents or things that support my feelings, and maybe we can read it together so he would get an understanding of, how I felt.
Well, what kind of things was he not understanding? What were you trying to communicate to him and failed to do so?
It just seems like I would be talking to him, telling him what my problem is. Even coming here today, I told him that, this was kind of the last straw for me. I wanted to know, if we could spend time with each other and actually have a good time. Like, this was a big deal. And he got here and none of that resonated with him.
How do you know it didn't resonate? What did you expect him to do as a function thereof?
You can't expect me to do nothing because I have my own thoughts, because I am my own person and I have my own brain, bro. Just because my thoughts and actions don't align up with what you want or what you thought I was going to do don't mean that I'm wrong. That just means that I see things a different way. Shout out to her for communicating in a different way and trying to read the book together and all of that, bro. I'm with her. I'm with her on that. I like that. I like that. 10 points in my book. And why the fuck do he have these glasses on, bro? It ain't no sun. It ain't no sun in the court, bro. He just looks suspect to me. I don't like him. I don't like him, bro.
Expected for us to be a couple. I expected for there to be affection. I expected for him to be with me. We were separate most of the time that we were here. He acted as if he didn't care.
Okay. Mr. Harris, your response to that?
She distanced herself from me this whole time. Even when I attempted to hold her hand as we were, taking a little tour around the city, she drew back from me. When she does that, I shut it off. I can't.
Tell me a little bit about the history of your relationship. Tell me how you got together, because I'm not quite sure what I'm hearing here.
Okay, well, we met, like you said, a year and a half ago online. And because we met online, I felt the need to let him know that I was not just looking, for a boyfriend. I wanted something more. At this age or stage in my life, I was looking for a husband. I had been praying that God sent me a husband. So I let him know that up front. And he agreed, to, at least get to know me and,
So what happened subsequent to that? What was going on that caused you concern all along? You said you've been engaged 2 or 3 times before, correct?
This is my third engagement.
Your third engagement. Do you see any pattern there with the guys? Is there a pattern that he's falling into as well?
I think the pattern is I don't know when to let go. I may see up front that something's not going to work for me, and I'll stay longer than necessary.
Shout out to her, bro. I hope life brings her everything that she wants, because she know her problem, she know her issue. So I pray that it's easier for her to get whatever she's trying to get, bro, because and even if you know it, and this the part that get me, you'll know your problem, but you'll have too much ego or too much pride to admit it. Just to be able to admit it, bro. I love the way she just answered that question, bro. And I hope life brings her prosperity and everything else that come along with it, bro. And for her to have the confidence to say it in this setting, because, don't think, you don't know what you'll say when you get up there. You don't know what you'll say, bro. You might freeze, you might get up there and do better than you thought, but all of that, put all of that to the side. Shout out to her, bro.
You told a story about him being selfish, that you had sold a car of yours before you got another car, and he has 2 cars, but he wouldn't let you drive one. Tell me, how far in the relationship were you, and how did that happen?
We were well in a year into our relationship, and he doesn't have 2 cars. He has 5 vehicles. At the time, I had 1, and I was looking to sell that one so that I can purchase one that I really wanted. And I was able to sell that one. However, I didn't have enough money to buy the vehicle that I wanted. I probably needed maybe one more check. So I asked him if I could, just borrow his for a couple weeks. At this point, I was already wearing the ring. So I
So
thought
how long had you been together?
it had been over a year.
Okay. And he said no.
He said no.
Mr. Harris, what happened?
I got 6 cars, and one, she drives ridiculous. Tearing up any of my cars and putting on my insurance is out. I asked her not to sell her car before she had another one lined up. I would have gave her the couple of $100 she needed to buy one she want, but she did what she wanted
to do.
And I let it happen.
What happened with the house? There was a house you asked him to buy.
Okay.
Tell me the good stuff.
My grandmother passed away, and she left the house to my father. And basically, he ended up getting incarcerated. So the house was just sitting there. So we wanted to keep. I don't know who came up with the idea, but we talked about it, and we agreed at one point that we would buy the house and try to sell it because we're eventually planning to move together. So that could have been a profit. And I just wanted to make sure that I put someone in that house that would represent my grandmother. It was a big field in her yard. It was, she had her garden out there, and I just wanted an older person.
What happened? Why did that not happen?
He changed his mind because the title was in my family member's name.
Okay, Mr. Harris, what's your view of that event?
She wanted me to buy a house, put the money into it, sell it, and give her half the profit.
If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't have had it. It was a good deal. It was a good deal that he got because of me. So I didn't think that he should get the whole thing.
Bro, shouldn't y'all be working together? What you mean it's a good deal for me? No, it's a good deal for me. Don't let that money draw no wedge in between y'all. They don't really have no major issues besides the glasses. I don't know why he got on sunglasses. It's bothering me, but they don't really have no major issues. They sitting up here making a mountain out of a mole, bro. A mountain out of a mole. Y'all supposed to be enjoying this time, enjoying each other, not trying to figure out, what we going to do with this, what we going to do with that. If you got it, you got it. Enjoy it while you have it, because you don't know when it's going to be gone. You don't know when it's going to be gone. Yeah, bro, they got to pump it. They got to pump it.
She want to talk business.
And it's for us to move into a house together. So it's not either one of ours. It's for us to put towards a house for us. So either way it go, it's for us. It's not for me. It's not for him. He's trying to separate the two, and that's not the case.
There was no separation of the two. It was business. I've been buying and selling houses for 20 years. Me fixing this property up, and then after I said no because I didn't want to give her half the profit, I offered a finder's fee or something like that. Then all of a sudden there's crackheads in the neighborhood and all this kind of stuff, and people was tearing the house up and all that other stuff. So I said no, I don't want it.
Okay. I understand, Mr. Harris, that you have a hard time trusting her, and I want you to tell me why you have a hard time trusting her and what's happened as a result of that. Why do you have a hard time trusting her, Mr. Harris?
Because she tells me a lot of stories from her promiscuous past. She won't let it stay in the past. Every time, every chance she get, is always in my face with some story. She calls them stories. I call it,
Yeah.
Yeah, but every time, and she say this is so far ago, but it's not.
I understand that you found inappropriate.
No, before we get into that, man, we don't want to hear about that just like y'all want to hear about us and the random nights and all of that we done had. And you're not going to throw that in my face, bro. My thing with it is anything or anybody that's trying to do something intentionally to make you feel a type of way or to take you out of your character, I don't like that. We don't need that. We don't need that, bro, especially when it's something like that, because, again, y'all know my famous line to that. How would you feel if the shoe was on the other foot? How would you feel if if I sat up there and I told you about the women that I cracked and all of that? Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. I don't like that, because you provoking me. You try and provoke me, and it don't mean that it's going to get violent or abusive or nothing like that, but it's just a turn off. Nobody wants to hear that, bro. Nobody wants to hear that. Now, okay, if we having an adult conversation and we, it just so happened to come up, or maybe, I don't know, we went to the restaurant and then whatever, bro. All right, this is whatever. This is him. This is her. Cool. You got to be an adult and be able to have that conversation. But to bring it up and throw it in my face and try to get me, don't provoke me like that. Or antagonize. Shout out, yeah. Antagonize. Appreciate that one.
Information on social media. Tell me about that.
She and her ex, they had a promiscuous past or whatever. For some reason, he's still stuck there. So he's sending her.
He's still stuck there,
He's
but
still
I
sending her
haven't.
pictures and
I
texts,
haven't responded
all
to
this
either.
inappropriate stuff, and she don't know how to stop him. She can't control
I
what he
can't
do.
control what
Have you
someone
shut
else
him
does.
down? Have you
What
talked
he-
to him and
I
said,
have,
"Hey,
I
we need
have,
to cut this
and
out"?
He's not listening. He's not listening.
You say that that you have never been to his house and you had to Google and find his house and he was being all secretive. What was that about?
It goes even. I mean, before that, I didn't even know his real name, Judge. He told me.
Tell me those stories.
That's what happened online. That's what happened online. You meet a person online and in person. You don't never really know a person until you get to know a person. And it take time to get to know a person. So when you start to see things like that, oh, he couldn't be honest with me about his name. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's an issue. And you have a decision to make. Okay, I know that this person is not willing to be honest and upfront with me. No, you're either A, going to stay and accept it, or B, say, okay, fine, cool, I'll find someone who wants to be open and honest and upfront with me. Simple, bro.
He told me, in the beginning of our relationship, that his name was E-Rich Johnson. Okay.
E-Rich.
So
That's not even.
that
true.
is my children still call
That's
him
not
E-Rich
true.
till this day.
E-Rich.
My kids think that's his government first name.
E-Rich.
E-Rich is my nickname on the street.
That's what he told me.
that's
That's
what
what
he
he told
told
me. I did not find out that his real name was Jerome until we went to Vegas last year, and I was paying
That
for
is
the
not
flights.
true.
And they asked me what was his name, and I said E-Rich, Johnson. And I told him, I said, "Do you have your ID?" I don't know how he ended up finding. He's like, "Well, that's not my
wasn't
name."
his name.
So then I'm like, okay. So then at that point, that's when I realized that I may have I need to figure out
not
who I'm
true.
dealing with.
Okay.
I did.
All right.
Mr. Harris,
Okay,
Mr. Harris,
Nicole.
Mr. Harris, I want you to respond to that, but I also want you to tell me what happened when you got to Vegas, because I think that's an interesting story.
When we got to Vegas and all that, she had a marriage in mind when we got there. I thought we were just going to, to have fun. 'cause
We
I'd never
agreed,
been
but
and she never been,
once again, he has
How long had you been together?
6 months maybe.
No, at that
And
point.
so you guys went to Vegas. You were under the impression that he was going to marry you?
I thought
It
it
was 4
would
months.
exactly. I thought I was under that impression, Your Honor, because
Did he ask you to marry
he
him?
sent me a ring. He sent me a ring. He sent me a ring and said, "What do you think that I'm thinking?" That's what he sent to me. So that's what put my head there. He
that was
went
after.
and purchased a ring. And he sent it to me, so I'm like, okay, maybe he's ready. So yes, that's what put me in that mind frame.
I can't sit up here and say that I believe that, because if he gave you a ring, then that's just a ring. A proposal is when the guy or woman get down on one knee and they say, hey, I want to be with you. I want to marry you. I love you. Let's do this shit forever and beyond the grave. That's what that is. So just because you got sent the ring, your mind, it might have took you there. It might have took you. And I wouldn't even have done that if I was bro. Or if you're going to give her a ring, and it's something that I learned. Shout out to my past. But something that I learned, if you're going to give her a ring, bro, it's going to have, it would be better if you were to explain the concept or the reasoning or the meaning of said ring. So when I say that, bro, I mean, all right, let's just say you shop and you want to drop $250 on a ring. Blow! You go get it a ring, you give it to her. Us dudes, we just think like, all right, cool, I just put some jewelry on you. You looking good, you shining now, you shimmering now. But they like, all right, so does this mean that we get married? Does this mean that? So you got to come at her, and it's only one or two. I've only heard two. It's either an engagement ring or a friendship ring, bro. They the only 2 rings that I didn't. Look at that. That one don't even move. I couldn't get that one to move. But yeah, it's only 2 of them, bro. It's only 2 of them. But yeah, I can see where she would get that from. But proposal.
Did you know where he lived before that?
I did not.
So you thought a guy whose house you've never been to and didn't know where he lived was asking you to marry him?
Yes.
So, Mr. Harris, tell me about your aspirations and your concern with respect to Ms. Butler's past.
I want to open up an interactive church where we dissect the Bible and, go back into it. We need more children understanding, what's going on in the world and how it relates to the Bible, okay? Her past that she's stuck in most of the time, she won't come out of. I understand that everybody has a past, but that's no excuse to me when you constantly bringing up stories and bringing up these other men and still communicating with them in certain ways.
You will when let him finish.
So if she, if she can't let the past be past and just leave it alone, then no, I can't. It'll come back to bite her eventually, and it'll come back to bite me. Okay. I mean, it's a history of that going on right now. Stuff from 20, 30 years, in people's past is coming up right now.
Right now, yeah. So
and she talking about writing children's books.
Okay.
You can't, there's certain things you have to stay out of, or at least be a big gap between, the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you can say, well, it's been passed out 20 years ago and all this kind of stuff. That's at least that's some defense.
Gotcha. Ms. Butler, your response?
My response is I talk to him because he's my partner. I should be able to express my past. I feel that my past has made me into the person that I am today. I am proud of my past. It has taught me to be a better person. I should be able to go to him as my partner and tell him, well, this is why I'm this way. He may ask me a question and I will bring up something that happened previously, years ago. And I only bring up the conversations as we're talking. Now, when we're arguing, he comes back and he brings up my past, and then that's when he throws it in my face to try to make me feel less than. I have cried because of the things that he has said to me to try to make me feel less than. I don't just talk about my past just to talk about it because I'm stuck there. But I am a firm believer that has made me into the woman that I am.
Let me say this. In general, I understand what you have been through in the past does make you who you are today. But in general, a guy that's in love with you and wants to be with you don't want to hear about all your sexual exploits with somebody else.
I don't go that far. I only answer what he asked me. I only answer what he asked me. And for someone to sit here and try to bring that out, you talking about
Hey.
She wasn't on it.
We are here on a Before Your Vows. I just wanted to mention that again. Do you two really have any expectation of getting married? I mean, because what I have here looks like a divorce case, not a Before Your Vows. I see no love. No, I see anger and just vilification of one another.
Every week.
Do you love her?
Every week.
Yes.
Why? Ask him why. Ask him why.
Unfortunately.
Ask him.
That's the part that's gonna get you booted, bro. That's the part. I tell y'all all of the time, we be cool, we be good, but it's that second part. When you think about it and you like, all right, well, I'm about to say unfortunately, just don't, bro. Or I'm about to say something else after that, just don't, bro. Just don't, because that's the that be getting, it mess us up every time. Every time, bro, and it's not unfortunate. It's not unfortunate that you're in love with her, bro. That's not unfortunate. It's motherfuckers out here that might go a lifetime without ever feeling that feeling or something like that. So no, I wouldn't say that it's unfortunate. Be happy that you're in this situation. Be happy, bro. Be happy, bro. I think a lot of the time, bro, y'all know I'm gonna start getting into it when I take this air. Like a lot of the time, bro, we gotta learn how to chill and relax, bro, and enjoy what we work for. And I'm talking to myself right now, bro. I'm talking to me. You gotta learn how to relax and enjoy what you work for. It's okay to put in the work. We need to put in the work. And after you put in that work, put in some more work. Put in some more work, bro. I'm all for that. But don't let it consume you. Don't let it consume you to the point where you become almost like a robot. I'm going here, going there, going here, going there, doing this, doing that, going here, doing that. Sit down at the park, enjoy the wind, go grab something to eat or whatever you enjoy doing. Any of your other hobbies or something like that. But don't become so programmed to work, bro, that you let life pass you by. Because life will pass you by. You'll sit up here and be, oh, well, I wanted to go to this steakhouse on 3rd Street. I'm going to get there. 4 years done went by and the steakhouse done closed and now it's a goddamn vegan spot or something like that, bro. Crazy, but yeah, don't let work consume you. Don't let your life become work, bro. Don't let your entire life become work. Enjoy life. And you said that you into the Bible, bro. You know that you're supposed to rest. The 7th day is for rest. You supposed to take rest, bro. Right now, it's the 28th, bro. It's the 28th. It's Saturday. We getting it. We getting it. We all away with it. We all away. But that 7th day on Sunday, bro, rest up. Rest up, man. Do not let work consume you. Do not. Do not. We here together on that. That's me and you.
Why? Because I still don't know.
Ms. Butler, are you looking to get married? My sense was, from the documents, that you were rushing down the aisle. You find this guy, he's good.
I'm not rushing. No, I am not rushing. Otherwise, I would have been married to, with
No.
2 other different guys. I want to be married to the right person, and I just don't know. Some of his actions show that he cares a little bit, but then he always goes, it's just every week is something different. Every week is something different, and I'm confused. I just don't know. Like I say, I tried to communicate. I came up with ways, tried to communicate with him, writing things down. He says that I'm all over the place all the time, so I try to write it down. Maybe that'll help me stay focused on track, but it doesn't get through to him. And
Man,
so I try to write it down. Maybe that'll help me stay focused on track, but it doesn't get.
Bow! I'm trying to catch it. That's nice. That's right, man. Is that if that's, man, that's a, you gave that to him. You wasn't trying to marry her, bro. If that's the ring, then that's the ring. But damn, I don't know about that. She sound like she got a point. It sounded like she got a point. Man, bro. He might just be at a stage in his life where he older and he like, all right, cool, I want to get married, I want to get a wife and do all of this other stuff. And he looking at her like, yeah, she all right, she cool, but I probably want something different. I probably want something a little, whatever the case may be. So I feel like he just keep her satisfied. He keep her happy, bro, until something else come along. That's what it's giving to me. Because I'm like, bro, it seemed like that's stringing her along, bro. If that's a friendship ring, then you string her the fuck along. Because the goddamn engagement ring going to have to take up the next 3 fingers or something like that, bro. I mean, I was looking at her. Like she kind of like the judge said, you ring aggressive, you want to get married and all of this other stuff. And I don't like that. I don't like that because you've been selfish. You only think about yourself because you want to get married. But looking at everything, bro, it's like, I don't want to say stringing her along, but he giving a little, he throwing the rod at her. He giving her the bait. He keep throwing her the bait and keep reeling her in with the bait, bro. That's a crazy friendship ring. Crazy friendship ring. Yeah, mine went like that.
Get through to him. And I heard you say once, couples needed to learn how to, fight the problem and not each other.
Right.
And I heard that, and I said, that's what I need to tell them. That's what, I got it. That still didn't work. So I said, what? I'm going to write her. I'm going to write her today.
Okay, I got it. I think I know what. No, I don't. That's a lie. I don't know what's going on over here. I don't know why I want to tell that lie. I want to talk to you about the compatibility test, and then I'm going to give you. I don't know what I'm going to give you, but I'm going to do something.
I need help. Seriously.
Mrs. Butler, Mr. Harris, when I read your compatibility test, I said you both wrote books. You did. It was like waves of frustration and miscommunication and anger and distress. And I saw 2 people who weren't getting anything that they needed from the other person. Nothing at all. And I said, well, maybe I'm just confused. I came out here, you 2 are like combatants. Not, not people in love. I don't see, we were going along and then we ran into this hiccup or that hiccup. Y'all just on the same page at all. You're trying to force a square into a round hole. This is an exercise in insanity. You're over there almost in tears. You're hysterical. You talk in your papers about he doesn't understand me. He doesn't listen. He throws up my moral bracket. Why in the world would you even consider becoming married to somebody like that? And for the same reason for you. It's an exercise in insanity. You think her background is too bad. She's too nasty. She brings it too much to the fore. You all
Too
into
nasty.
the Bible, and you think she's a hoe. So what are you doing?
Whoa.
What are you doing? I don't understand. It's like I got her. She ain't anything about what I want. She's not who I need. She's not what I want.
But I
Can't
love her,
tell her
though.
the truth. But I'm going to marry her, and then I'm
Exactly.
going to chip her away and you just as bad. You haven't told me anything good about one another. You just you feel misunderstood, unloved, uncared for. What in the world are you doing?
It's hard out here, Your Honor. You don't understand how hard it is. And let me explain something.
I got it. No. I'm all done. I understand there may be slim pickings. That there's not a whole lot of dudes out there. But sweetheart, sometimes you just have to learn. Sometimes it's better
Walk
by
away.
yourself. You know what I mean? It's not. You haven't failed. You're not less than just because you don't have a dude. Don't stick with a dude that makes it dark and miserable rather than just to be alone and be happy in your own light. You can do that. It'll work out. It'll be fine. My sister never got married. She has way more fun than I do most days. No. You got to quit talking a little bit and sit back and listen and hear people, because part of your problem is you want to talk,
Amen.
but you can't.
It's not okay for him to come out here and make me seem like I'm this bad person, because I am.
But I think that's the best thing that could have happened. Because if he could do that to you in this forum,
that
he's
just
not the
shows.
guy to marry.
Exactly, and I know that.
Mission accomplished. This matter's adjourned.
He wasn't trying to hear about none of that. My dog was married to the money. I see why he came in there with the stunners on. My bad OG. But nah, that whole situation was just tragic, bro. That was a tragedy waiting to happen. And the best point that the judge made is y'all going through all of this right now, and y'all you want to get married. It ain't y'all. It was like a divorce case. That was like a divorce case. You ain't do this. You not doing that. I thought you meant this. I thought you meant that. I don't like this and I don't like that. But I love you. I love you too. Like, that's the type of shit that's when the love get watered down, bro. That's how I get watered down. You can say it, but do you really mean it? And I get where she coming from, and she's a great woman. She's gonna be great. She's gonna be fine, but she gotta learn when to pump it. Okay. You got a goal in mind, and you determined and all of that. That's fine and that's cool, but it just come off as pushy. And for me personally, it come off as what's your motive and who sent you and why you going so hard at me? Now, granted, it could just be me. Maybe that's the reason that I'm having the issues that I'm having. But when it's like that, bro, it's like, I don't know. I feel like, who sent you? Who sent you? You got to back up a little bit. You can plug anybody in there. In my opinion, I feel like she'll plug anybody in there. Anybody that come with a ring or anybody that come with whatever, yeah, because that's what she want to do. And I'm like, that's not cool, bro. That's not cool, bro, because you're only thinking about yourself. You're only thinking about what you want. And if he don't do what you want, then it's a big problem and it's a big issue. That's not cool, and that ain't no way to live life. That ain't no way to live life, always expecting this and expecting that. She was probably expecting that he was going to marry her. Oh, well, he's an older guy, so he should be ready to settle down. That's what she didn't tell the judge. It's not about what people say. It's about what they don't say. It's about what they don't say. She was looking at him, oh, he's an older guy. He's ready to settle down. He's financially stable. He still has hair. Fine, cool. I'm all good. Yeah, that's your expectation, but he still got his own thoughts and opinions. You cannot get upset with me because my actions don't match your expectations or your thoughts. You can't. You can't. I'm my own person, and for him, bro, you gonna have to learn reel it in too. Old school, you gonna have to reel it in too, bro. That ring, if that was the friendship ring, bro, that I don't care what nobody say, bro. You low key leading on. You gotta be, cause that's a decent ring, bro. You spend some cash on it, now it might be you might have 400K available to give to her as a friend or something like that. I don't know, but looking at that, yeah, I think that was a little bit more. Maybe you was feeling it. Maybe the next day you wasn't. Maybe she right. Maybe she right. Maybe she is right, bro. I don't know, but what I do know is after a while, you got to do something. You got to do something. It's either you gonna be with her or you not. If she clearly is expecting marriage, hoping for marriage, praying for marriage, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't want y'all to. No, I'm not saying that it's not wrong with that. If that's what she wants, she's entitled to that. But if you're not willing to give that to her, you gotta let her know and let her go. You gotta let her know and let her go. Like I said, I feel like he was looking at her like, all right, she cool. She'll be a good woman. She'll be a good wife. But maybe that's just not the one that he wanted. Maybe he ain't want her. Maybe he wanted a different whatever. Whatever, bro. I don't know. I'm not him, but I feel like he was keeping her as a safety valve. Like, all right, you just stay right there. I got about 2 more years, and 2 more years it don't work out, and that's not cool. You don't do that to people. You don't do that to people. You don't lead people on and string them along and all of that other stuff, bro. That's wasting time. You wasting my time. I don't like it, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that video. GTG, the family as always is love, and I'm not out. I'm not. You thought that I was out, but I'm not. Another thing, bro, about the sexual past and bringing it up, bro. Don't nobody want to hear that. And I see, with her, this my last one. Ladies, I love y'all. I love y'all. But with her, you so foregoing and want to reveal this and want to reveal that. You not even sitting back thinking like, all right, well, damn. How would I feel if he just started telling me about his experiences and all of this other stuff? How would I feel? Nobody want to hear that, bro. Don't nobody want to hear that. So, again, I feel like you were selfish to the point where you felt like you had to get that out. You should be doing this and you should be doing that. And then it backfired. Sometimes you can be too, how can I put it? Forthcoming or whatever, bro. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that video. GTG, the family as always is love, and we out.